Hey, Darren, this is Maya. How are you?
Great, and yourself there, Maya.
I'm good, I'm good, I'm good.
Is everything going fine for you today? Because it's the end of the day right there in Sweden.
It is. And I'm just telling my son to keep it quiet. Here's a sandwich and your glass of milk. So, yeah, I've been bribing my son to keep quiet for another couple of minutes. So, yes, I'll be fine.
That actually brings up my first question is the US press release on your new album is all about how you guys are all mature now because you have families and you're doing all that kind of stuff. Did you know that you were making a mature album when you started it?
No, I will never be mature. Maybe in the sense that I don't think I am, but how do you say unconditionally? No, that's not the right word. Like I'm not aiming to be mature, but I think I might be anyway. So in a sense, I would like to put it in a more nostalgic kind of words. So yes, I am mature. I am taking care of a son, and I'm being a mom, but I will always be wild at heart, and that is where the love for music comes from.
Right, and this is a great new album. How long did you guys actually spend making it?
Actually, several years. I think, like you said, me becoming a mom and Jesper, he had two kids since then. Kind of made us much more efficient in a sense. I think I have never been spending this much time in the studio since the early days of the Sounds. Since now becoming a mom, I drop my kid off at preschool and then I go to the studio. I write songs, and yeah, we've been way more efficient. I think personally, but it's been many years since we last released an album, and I think just being a mom and being in a different state of mind helped us out, or helped me personally out, to become more efficient and better songwriter.
And you also did keep active with Crew of Me and You. Is that still active or is that on hold?
It is on hold right now because I think Crew of Me and You was always, it will always be like a younger brother. The Sounds is definitely our main priority, and it always has been. For me and Felix, writing those songs was during the same period of time as me and Felix wrote a lot of the songs for the Sounds album. And when we didn't feel like some of the songs fit into the formula of being the Sounds, we felt like I just don't want these songs to end up on the desk or in the hard drive to be not released. I want them to come out, and I want people to hear it. And if people like it, that's fine. If they don't like it, it's equally as fine. But I did have a lot of songs in my head that I just wanted to come out, and if one way or another it would have to come out, and it did. And some of them ended up on the Sounds album, and some of them ended up on the side project. And I have written maybe 20 other songs after that as well. And you never know. Like, that is the blessing of being creative. Like, you always write songs. I am writing so many songs these days, and some of them end up being the Sound songs, or some of them end up being something else.
I first personally found out about you guys on the first album, and it might have been through all the hype around it or Dave Grohl wearing the Sounds t-shirt in the Foo Fighters video. But it's funny
Yeah.
to me in a way, if we look back how many years you've been doing it on a high level, if you play 14 songs live, 10 of them were probably singles at this point. So what was the moment where you kind of realized that you didn't have to have a hit single, that you could be a touring band and still make a living?
Wow. I think that reality kind of hit us recently. But looking back, I think we've been touring with those kind of bands before, like NoFX or Bad Religion and those kind of guys. We've been touring with them since Warped Tour in 2006. And I think now, looking back on ourselves and our own career, especially looking back on the other bands that we have been supporting, I'm not saying that Panic at the Disco or any other band is not existing, but they're not or The Killers or any other band, but they are not existing in the same form as they did when they started out. But we are, and I think we did realize that maybe a year ago, saying like, so all these bands, or even the Strokes, they've changed back and forth. The Killers changed dramatically. Panic at the Disco, definitely. And no doubt, yes, no. But you know what I mean? So just looking back, saying like all these bands that we used to tour with, all of them have changed, but we have not. And I think when we came to realize that, it was like a year ago or two when we said like, hey man, we're the same members since 1998. That should be celebrated in some way or another. If we even just celebrate it and be proud of ourselves, that's good enough. But it's funny to see how you kind of survived all the different genres or eras, like the emo thing and everything else. Like we survived it all, and we're still the same. Which is I'm glad you're bringing it up because it's something that we've only talked about internally between each other, but it's definitely something that needs to be brought up.
Well, I think the key is that you still make music that's upbeat and dancey, but dark, which is kind of welcome. And
yeah.
When you guys have, 14 songs on an album, did you really write 30 of them? Because you mentioned before that you're always writing and you're pretty prolific.
We was back in the days, but I think for this album, Things We Do for Love, we had kind of about maybe 16 songs and 14 or 10 ended up on the album. And that only comes from being, I want to put in as much effort into being a mother as I put into being a good front person in the rock band. Like I want to put in the same amount of passion and love into motherhood as I did for the band, and that takes time. And I wanted to give my son that. When he was a newborn, we released an EP, and I remember during one of the songs I was 9 months pregnant, and I had contractions.
You got it.
Okay. During doing vocals for one of the songs, and for the next song I was breastfeeding him, and you can hear it during one of the, if you would actually go to a mixing table, you can listen to all the harmonies. During one of the harmonies he's screaming in the background while I'm breastfeeding him. So it was just a period of time where I felt like I try to be as good as I can being a singer in a rock band, but I wanted to put all my effort into being the best mother as I could. And I have been spending a lot of time with my son. But I also feel like now when he's 5 years old, I'm really grateful for him to be able to spend time in preschool, and I can be in the studio. And I can also be a much better mom if I'm allowed to be a singer in a rock band. I will never be a normal mom.
And that is one of the reasons I think that people still love you all these years later, that you do things your way. So since he's being so well behaved and quiet in the background, I'll give you 2 quick questions and then you're free. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Has being quarantined and being kept in and not touring led you to discover any new TV shows that people should be checking out?
Wow. Okay. There is a TV show coming out of Ireland called Normal People about a young couple. And Yeah, it's a really great. Yeah, you should check it out. I don't know how Netflix is different, but I know it is different from the American Netflix to Swedish Netflix. Is different, but there's an Irish show called Normal People. Check it out. It's really good.
Yes, we have that one here on Hulu in the States, so I'm going to check that out.
Okay.
Thank you. So, in closing, Maja, any last words for the kids?
Last words for the kids is stay abnormal. Don't do what other people tell you to do. Stay weird and be fun, have fun, and fuck the world, basically.
Well, looking forward to seeing you live in New York when this all blows over. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, okay?
Paltrocast.